The space station floated near the edge of the galaxy. It was old, forgotten, and quiet. Only a few human scientists worked there now. They were watching something in the dark space beyond. Dr. Ellen Morris stared at the screen in front of her. Her fingers trembled as she zoomed in. "It's moving again," she whispered. "What is it?" asked Captain Rafi, stepping closer. Ellen shook her head. "I don't know. We've never seen anything like this. It's huge, cold. It's eating light." "Captain." Rafi frowned. The object was far away, but every day it came closer. Stars around it had started going dark. Entire systems vanished. He looked at the others in the room. "Send the warning." "We already did," Ellen said quietly. 3 times. To the Galactic Empire? Yes, no answer. They don't believe us. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The air turned cold. A low humming sound began to shake the walls. Rafi grabbed the intercom. "Evacuate. Everyone get to the escape pods. Now." On the screen, the object came into view. Not a ship. Not a meteor. A massive dark shape with twisting arms like shadows. It moved like it was alive. Behind it, stars were dying. One of the scientists screamed. "It sees us." The station shook violently. Alarms blared. Fires broke out. Screams filled the corridors. Ellen hit the emergency beacon. A red light flashed. Message. Sent. Last warning. Then the screen turned black. Only silence remained. Deep in the Galactic Empire Central Command, a bored alien admiral watched the report. The message blinked on his screen for the 4th time. "Earth again?" he said, sighing. His assistant nodded. "Yes, Admiral Zeller. They claim some kind of cosmic threat is approaching." Zeller laughed. "Earth always fears shadows. Let them worry. We have fleets, weapons. Nothing can touch us." He pressed a button and deleted the message. In the shadows of the room, a small robot recorded everything. It quietly left the command hall. On Earth, General Hayes sat in a dark room. He watched the last images from the station. The screams, the shadows, the silence. He didn't speak for a long time. A young officer entered. "Sir, the Empire ignored us again." Hayes nodded. "Of course they did. What do we do now?" Hayes stood up slowly. He walked to a locked door at the back of the room. He placed his hand on the scanner. A loud click. The door opened. Behind it was a single chair. In that chair sat a man with long gray hair, a long coat, and eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. He didn't move. The officer stepped back. Who is that?" General Hayes answered, his voice cold and steady. "That is Baba Yaga." The man looked up slowly. His voice was low, like a growl. "Why did you wake me?" Hayes stepped forward. "Something is coming. The Empire laughed at us, but we saw it. We felt it. It's real." Baba Yaga stood. He was tall, thin, but every move felt heavy, like a mountain rising. They always laugh before they scream. Hayes nodded. "The last station is gone. No survivors. Only a signal." "Do you still have the path it came from?" "Yes." Baba Yaga turned and picked up a strange black sword from the wall. It shimmered with colors not seen by normal eyes. "Then I'll go." The officer stepped forward. "Alone?" Baba Yaga smiled. "I'm never alone." On a faraway planet in Empire space, a galactic scout ship floated near a small red star. The crew was young and proud. They had ignored the warnings from Earth. Until now, the star began to dim. "Captain, one officer said, "Our systems are dropping." "I think something's near us." A voice came through the radio. "Not human, not machine. Cold, dry. You're not safe." The captain laughed. "Who is this? Identify yourself." The voice replied, "Run." Suddenly, all systems failed. Lights went out. Screaming began. Then silence. A final message was sent back to the Empire. "He's coming." Back at Empire High Command, The message arrived with a warning code never used before. The Admiral read it out loud. "Baba Yaga is awake?" He looked at the others. Fear began to spread. "That's just a story," one said. Another shook their head. "If Earth sent him, then it's not a story." Admiral Zeller leaned forward, his voice shaking. "Put a price on his head. Every bounty hunter, every assassin. I want him dead before he reaches us." But deep in his heart, he knew, you cannot kill what doesn't die. Inside a dark ship traveling alone, Baba Yaga sat in silence. The stars moved past him, slowly turning red, then black. He watched them disappear one by one. He whispered to himself, "I warned them, they never listen." His ship entered deep space, towards the place where the stars had gone dark. Towards the thing that had no name. He was not afraid. He was fear. And this time, the Empire would learn what that meant. In the cold darkness of space, a story was spreading like wildfire. One name was whispered in fear, in anger, in disbelief: Baba Yaga. Some called him a ghost. Others said he was just a tale from Earth, a myth, a story to scare children. But now, the story was moving. It had eyes, it had a ship, and it was hunting. Inside the Empire warship Solar Talon, Captain Drex paced in front of his crew. His voice was loud and sharp. "We've received orders from High Command. There's a human coming. A so-called super soldier from Earth." He laughed. "They say he destroyed an entire battlecruiser with a single weapon. That he never sleeps. That he once killed a fleet, alone." The crew chuckled. One of them raised a hand. "Sir, do they really call him the Boogeyman?" Captain Drex smirked. "Yes, Baba Yaga, a child's nightmare. Earth is weak. Their fear makes stories bigger than the truth." The screen behind him showed a shadowy figure in a long coat, face half covered, glowing eyes under a hood. Probably just a mad soldier, with old weapons. "If he comes near us, we'll blast him into space dust." The room filled with laughter. A few hours later, a small black ship appeared on the edge of their radar. It didn't send a message. It didn't respond to hails. Unidentified. "Vessel approaching," said the technician, frowning. It's small, no life signs, no heat." Drex frowned. "Show me." The screen zoomed in. The ship looked like it was made of metal and bone. "No lights, no movement. Send a warning shot," Drex ordered. The ship didn't change course. "Send 3 more. Hit it if you have to." They fired. All shots missed. The small black ship twisted in a way that shouldn't be possible, turning sideways between lasers, slipping past scanners like smoke. "Captain," the technician whispered, "it's too fast." Drex shouted, "Shields! Up! Lock weapons!" The enemy ship vanished from the screen. Where did it go? Silence. Then the lights went out. Emergency lights flashed red. "Systems are down. Engines offline." Drex grabbed his gun. "Get ready for boarding." But no one came. The doors didn't open. One by one, crew members began disappearing. First from the engine room, then the med bay, then the bridge. No sound, no blood. "Just gone," one officer screamed. "It's him, he's inside." "That's impossible," Drex yelled. "He can't teleport." Then the doors hissed open behind him. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Drex turned. He saw a man in a long coat, hood over his head, a strange black blade in one hand. Glowing eyes locked on him. "Baba Yaga," Drex breathed. The man didn't speak. He moved. One strike. Drex dropped to his knees, staring in shock. Not at his own blood, but at the cold stare. In Baba Yaga's eyes. It wasn't hate. It wasn't anger. It was nothing. Pure, empty silence. The last thing Drex heard was the sound of the ship tearing apart from the inside. Across the galaxy, news began to spread. The Solar Talon, one of the Empire's best warships, had gone silent. No survivors. No black box. Just floating debris. The Empire tried to hide it, but whispers leaked through. miners, traders, smugglers, and with each whisper came one name, Baba. Yaga. In a dark tavern on the moon of Eric 7. Bounty hunters gathered. Some had metal arms. Others had lizard skin, cyber eyes, or snake tongues. Of them, a thick alien with 3 jaws slammed a hologram on the table. The reward is real. 5 million credits for Baba Yaga's head. Another laughed. You believe that story? The thick alien leaned in. I saw the wreck of the solar talon myself. It wasn't a bomb, it was art. A female hunter with glowing tattoos leaned back. So what? He's just one man. He's not a man, the thick alien said. He's a warning. The room went quiet, then the door opened. Everyone turned. A woman in Empire armor walked in, young, sharp eyes. Strong voice. I need fighters. He's heading toward the Varnak system. That's where we stop him. Why should we help the Empire? Someone asked Dot. She threw a pouch on the table. It clanked with gold chips, because if we don't, he'll burn through your homes next. The room remained silent. Then the hunters stood up, one by one. Meanwhile, in the void of space, Baba Yaga stood alone in his ship. He wasn't rushing. He never rushed. The stars passed slowly outside his window. He opened a small box on the console. Inside was an old photograph. A woman. A child. A bright sun behind them. Earth. He touched the picture with one finger. I told them to listen. He said softly. Behind him, the black blade hummed. It was alive somehow, like it was waiting to feed again. A light flashed on his screen. Another ship was approaching, bigger, armed. He smiled. They still think numbers matter. The Varnak system was next, but something else was moving too. Darkness. The thing that killed the stars. It was getting closer. And Baba Yaga wasn't heading away from it. He was going straight toward it. And the Empire, no matter how powerful, was about to learn. You don't call the devil a myth. Not when he's already inside your house. The command deck of the Imperial cruiser Iron Will was quiet. Too quiet. Captain Vela paced near the front console, her dark green uniform tight, her face tense. Any word from the scout patrol? She asked without turning. Lieutenant Miro shook his head. No, Captain. Their signal stopped 30 minutes ago. Just like the others, she whispered. Another ghost ship in the dark. Vela looked out the wide view window. The stars seemed smaller now, dimmer, like something was sucking the light out of the galaxy, one breath at a time. She turned back to her crew. We are not cowards. We are the shield of the Empire. Whoever or whatever is out there. We make first contact. But Captain, Miro said softly, what if it's him? The crew fell silent. Vela nodded. If it's Baba Yaga, then we try to stop him, or at least slow him down. She tapped the comms panel. Send the signal. Invite him to talk. In the dark space ahead, Baba Yaga's ship slowed as it picked up the message. A calm female voice spoke over the Empire frequency. Unidentified vessel. This is Captain Vela of the Iron Will. We request a meeting. No weapons, no traps, just words. Baba. Yaga listened. He didn't answer at first. The voice repeated. This is your chance. Speak now. He leaned forward slowly and pressed a button. His voice came through like thunder wrapped in ice. You want to talk now, after 10,000 screams? There was silence on the other side. Then Vela replied. Yes, because if we don't talk now, there won't be anything left to scream. Shuttle moved slowly between the two ships. Inside it sat Captain Vela, alone. Her hands shook slightly, hidden under her gloves. Baba Yaga had agreed to speak, but only face to face. No guards, no weapons. Just her and him. The shuttle door opened. Cold air rushed in. Vela stepped out into Baba Yaga's ship. It was dark, silent. The walls seemed to hum like they were alive. Then she saw him. He sat on a metal throne in a long coat, hood low, sword by his side. Eyes glowing faintly. "Captain," he said, his voice soft but heavy. She forced herself to speak. "I didn't come to fight. I know. I came to understand." "No one in the Empire wants to understand," he said. "They only want control, and not like the others." He stood in that moment. Vila felt like the room shrank. He wasn't tall, but something about him filled the space, like a shadow that wrapped around her mind. "You're here because your stars are dying," he said. "Your systems are falling silent. Your leaders lied. They laughed, and now they fear me." She met his eyes. "Then help us stop it." Baba Yaga didn't move. "Why should I?" "Because you've seen it. You know what's coming." His face twitched, just a little. "You're right," he said. "I've seen it. I watched it take my home. It doesn't destroy planets. It erases them. No heat, no warning. Just gone." "What is it?" Vila whispered. He looked out the window. "An ancient hunger, a shadow that grows, no name, no mercy. Not even time can stop it." She took a step forward. "You've fought it before?" He nodded. "Once, a long time ago. Earth believed me, but the Empire didn't." "You said." "You lost everything." He looked at her now, fully. "My wife, my daughter, my world." The words dropped like stone into water. Vila didn't speak. She let the silence stretch. It wasn't just pain in his eyes. It was something worse. Memory. Finally, she said, "Then help us fight it, for them." Back on the Iron Will, the crew waited. Tension hung in the air like static. The moment the shuttle returned, Vela stepped out, face calm but tight. She gave her order in a single sentence. "He's coming with us." Miro blinked. "What?" "He's going to help. But only on his terms." "And what are those?" "No lies, no delays. No more Empire games." Hours later, a fleet of Empire ships met at the edge of the Varnock system. It was here the creature had last been seen, if something like it could be seen at all. Baba Yaga stood on the bridge beside Vila, arms crossed. The other captains watched him through video screens. "Is this the man who kills ships?" One commander mocked. "This is the best Earth has?" Another laughed. Baba Yaga said nothing. Then the stars outside blinked. One by one. Lights gone. Vila gasped. "It's here." A black mist spread across the stars. Ships began losing power. Screams echoed over COMMs. Baba Yaga walked forward slowly. "Now you understand," he said. The main screen showed something forming in the mist. Tendrils, arms, shapes that hurt the eyes to look at. "Target it." One captain yelled. "No." Baba Yaga growled. "You don't kill it with lasers." "Then how?" Vela asked. He turned to her, calm as stone. "You trap it." He pulled out a strange metal device. Small, sharp, ancient. "What is that?" "Earth tech, forbiddance. It bends space around a fixed point. Like a cage." He handed it to Vila. "But it must be placed at the heart, inside the shadow." She froze. "That's suicide." He smiled. "I've done worse." As chaos spread, Baba Yaga launched in a single pod, heading toward the black heart of the mist. The ships fired. Nothing hit. Their weapons passed through the shadow like it wasn't even there. But Baba Yaga's pod flew straight and sure. He whispered to himself, "One last time." The mist reached for him. His ship twisted, dodged, danced. At the center, he saw it. A pulsing red eye, not alive. Not dead. He aimed the device. "I remember you," he said to the thing. Then he pressed the button. A light burst from the device. A circle of bright blue fire surrounded the creature's heart. The mist screamed, not sound, but a feeling in every mind. Rage, hunger, fear. Then silence. The shadow folded inward, crushed, vanished. The stars returned. Back on the Iron Will, the crew cheered. Vila stared at the screen, eyes wide. Did he make it? Miro asked. The sensors searched. Nothing. No signal. No pod. No man. 3 days later, A trader ship found a strange message floating in deep space. No name, just a voice. Vila listened to it alone. It was Baba Yaga. I stopped it this time. But it will return. When it does, send for me. Them nothing, just stars, and silence, and a legend. Still alive. In the dark corners of the galaxy, where light barely touched the edge of stars, whispers filled the airwaves. Ships passing through dead sectors reported sightings, a shadow in the void. A single name spoken in fear. Baba Yaga. He had stopped. The shadow beast in Varnuk. He had saved thousands. But instead of praise, the Empire placed a bounty on his head. The price? 10 million credits. Dead only. And now, every hunter in the galaxy wanted his head. In a cold and smoky bar on the mining moon of Kreta, a tall woman with red cybernetic eyes watched the screen above the bar. A news report showed blurry footage of Baba Yaga walking through a destroyed ship. The bounty flashed again. 10 million credits, the bartender muttered. That's enough to buy a planet. The woman, known only as Zeth, smiled without warmth. You don't buy planets, you take them. A man beside her laughed. Even you can't take him down, he's not real. Zeth's smile faded. He's real, and he bleeds. That's enough. She stood and left. Elsewhere, in deep space, Baba Yaga sat alone inside his small black ship. He moved without lights, without sound. The stars outside looked distant and weak. He knew they were coming. It always started the same way: money, fame, the promise of glory. The Empire was clever. Let others do the dirty work. Let the greedy try first. A soft light blinked. On his console. Another ship had found him. He sighed. They never learn. The first attackers came fast. A trio of bounty hunters, one insectoid, one human, one machine, dropped out of hyperspace and surrounded his ship. They hailed him. A distorted voice crackled through. This is nothing personal. Just business. You're worth more dead than alive. Baba Yaga replied in a calm voice. Then I'll make it personal. Before they could react, his ship vanished from their screens. What the? The human shouted. A moment later, the insectoid ship exploded. The other two screamed, spinning wildly. He's inside. The machine howled. He's... Then silence. Baba Yaga reappeared behind the burning wrecks and moved on. No trophies. No messages. Just cold work. Captain Vila, now stripped of her rank for helping Baba Yaga, sat in a small shuttle, flying through the outer rings of the dead zone. She was alone. The Empire had called her a traitor, a fool, but she had seen the truth. Baba Yaga wasn't the enemy. The darkness still lingered beyond the stars. It wasn't gone, only trapped. For now, she was searching for him. Not to stop him, but to warn him, because someone else was coming, someone worse. On a hidden station, deep in a gravity well, a meeting took place. A cold voice echoed through the dark chamber. He embarrassed the Empire. He must die. 5 shadows stood around a round table. High command. The ones who ruled the Empire from the dark. One of them spoke, his voice robotic. Bounty hunters failed. Another answered, then we send something better. A third shadow leaned forward. Send Project Revenant. The room grew silent. He was unstable, one warned. He was built to kill Baba Yaga, another replied. He is the only one who can. The Revenant was not a man. Not anymore. He had once been human. A soldier, strong, loyal. Then he died, and the Empire rebuilt him, flesh and steel, powered by rage, filled with weapons and hate. He did not speak. He only hunted. Now, they pointed him toward Baba Yaga and let him go. Baba Yaga felt it before it happened. He was on a dead moon, repairing his ship when the sky cracked. A ripple tore through the air, and a figure dropped from above. Heavy boots slammed into the dust. The ground trembled. Baba Yaga looked up. The Revenant stood there, twice his size, armored head to toe, red lights shining from his chest. No words. No warning. The revenant charged. Baba Yaga rolled aside as a blast struck the ground where he stood. He pulled his blade, dark and silent, and met the metal monster head-on. Steel clashed with shadow. Fists met flesh. The revenant punched Baba Yaga across the ground. Dust rose. Bones cracked. But Baba Yaga stood again. "You were built to kill me," he said, wiping blood from his mouth. The revenant tilted his head. No response. "Then let's see who taught you." They fought for minutes, maybe hours. The ground burned around them. Mountains shook. The dead moon cracked. But in the end, Baba Yaga did what no machine could understand. He waited. He studied, and he struck with purpose. At the right moment, he plunged his blade deep into a gap in the revenant's armor, cutting through cables and core. The machine screamed. It wasn't pain. It was confusion. Then silence. The revenant fell. Baba Yaga stood over him, panting. "I've killed shadows darker than you." Hours later, as Baba Yaga returned to his ship, another signal came. But this time, it was not a threat. It was a voice, familiar. "Baba Yaga, it's Vela. I found something. The darkness. It's waking again." He paused. "Meet me." "I have." Proof, then static. He sat in silence for a moment. The blood on his hands was dry. His ship still smoked. The galaxy still wanted him dead. But the real enemy was coming back, and this time, it would not wait. He set the course. The hunter was hunted, but the war was far from over. Captain Vela waited inside an abandoned mining station at the edge of the Rithan Belt. Dust floated in the stale air, and broken screens flickered on the walls. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from what she had seen. What she had learned. She didn't have to wait long. A low hum filled the air as a small black ship approached the station. It moved like a shadow, silent and smooth. It docked without lights, without sound. A moment later, the door hissed open, and Baba Yaga stepped through. He wore the same long coat. His eyes still glowed faintly. He looked around without a word, and stopped when he saw her. Vela nodded. "You came." "I always do," he said. She handed him a small data drive. "You need to see this." Baba Yaga inserted the drive into the console. A hologram lit up the room, images of stars going dark, one after another, systems blinking out, whole planets vanishing without trace. "The darkness," he muttered. "It's moving faster." Vela pointed to the final frame. "This is from the edge of Sector 9. 4 days ago, there were 7 suns there. Now, none. It's feeding." He stared at the display. "How did you get this?" "I stole it," she said quietly. "From an Imperial vault. They've known for years." He looked at her. "And they did nothing?" She shook her head. "They lied, buried the truth, and now it's too late." Baba Yaga didn't blink. "No, it's not." In a command room deep inside the Empire's capital, the High Council argued. "We are losing control," one said. "Baba Yaga destroyed our Revenant unit, and now half our ships have gone dark." "Still no official word from Sector 9, another added. "They're gone," a third voice said. "Just like the others, we have no time to waste." Someone slammed the table. "Then what do you suggest? Apologize to Earth and ask for help?" The room grew quiet. "No," the elder among them said. "We don't ask, we prepare." Back on the mining station, Vela paced the control room. "Even with this data, how do we stop it? We don't even know what it is." "We don't need to know what it is," Baba Yaga replied. "Only how it moves. It eats light, swallows stars, but leaves patterns." He opened another display, a map, showing routes the darkness had followed across the galaxy. "It's not random. It's hunting energy." "Energy?" Vela asked. "The bigger the star, the faster it moves. The more power nearby, the stronger it becomes. Then it's coming here, he nodded. There's a massive fuel depot on Helion 3, a perfect meal. They arrived at Helion 3 2 days later. The planet was covered in fire fields and fusion reactors, glowing like a torch in deep space. Thousands of workers lived in cities buried under metal. Baba Yaga stepped onto the command deck of the main tower. The local governor, a tall man with steel implants and too much pride, looked annoyed. Who is this? Some Earth criminal? Vela answered for him. He's the only reason you're still alive. The governor scoffed. I don't need legends. I need soldiers. Baba Yaga stepped forward. Then you're already dead. The governor laughed, but the laughter stopped when the warning alarms began. The lights flickered, the stars dimmed, and the sky turned black dot from space. The darkness came like a wave, no sound, no heat. Just void. Ships tried to flee. Their engines failed, cannons fired blindly. The darkness swallowed every shot. Inside the command tower, people screamed. Systems died. Lights flickered. It's here. Someone shouted. Baba Yaga stood calmly in the middle of the room. Activate the traps, he said. Vela turned to him. You brought traps? He nodded. Earth tech, old, illegal, effective. He pressed a small device on his wrist. All over the planet, hidden towers lit up with blue fire. Energy nets rose into the sky, forming a glowing cage around Helion 3. The darkness hit it and screamed, not sound but a vibration in the bones. The entire planet shook. It's working. Vela cried, but Baba Yaga didn't celebrate. It won't hold forever. The black mass twisted and pushed against the nets. Strange shapes formed inside it. Faces, limbs, eyes that blinked and vanished. The governor turned pale. What is that thing? A memory, Baba Yaga said. A shadow from before time. Suddenly, one of the towers exploded. The cage weakened. It's breaking through. Baba Yaga turned to Vela. There's one chance. What? He handed her a small silver sphere. This is the heart of the trap. A collapsing gravity bomb. If placed at the right spot, where the shadow is weakest, it can pull the creature into a time fold. That'll kill you, she said. He looked at her with calm eyes. I've died before. No, she said. I'm not letting you do this alone. You won't survive the path. I don't care. He paused. Then he nodded once. Together, they entered a small pod and launched toward the growing center. Of the darkness. Inside the black mist, nothing made sense. Shapes twisted. Lights bent. Time slowed. Vela felt cold all through her body. Her thoughts turned soft. Baba Yaga focused ahead. Don't stop, don't think. Just follow me. They flew deeper. At the core, a strange red glow pulsed. Like a heart, beating slowly. He turned to her. Now! She threw the silver sphere. It glowed bright, hot, loud. The creature screamed again. The pod shook violently. Hold on. Baba Yaga shouted. The gravity bomb activated. Light exploded. Space twisted, and everything went white. Vela woke up inside a wrecked pod. She was lying on the ground. Stars above, silence. She sat up fast. Baba Yaga? No answer. She searched the wreck. Called his name again and again. Nothing. Only his blade remained stuck into the ground where he once stood. She fell to her knees. He was gone. Later, a message arrived at the Empire's emergency channel. It came from Vela. She stood in the dark, holding Baba Yaga's blade. He's gone, but the darkness is sealed for now. Don't make the same mistake again. Listen next time. She ended the message. No one at the Empire spoke. For the first time in 1,000 years, they felt small, because somewhere beyond the edge of space, the darkness still watched. And maybe, so did Baba Yaga. The stars were quiet again, but the galaxy was not at peace. Across 10 systems, whispers of Baba Yaga's disappearance spread like smoke through the halls of power. Some believed he was dead. Others thought he had vanished into the void, swallowed by the shadow he helped trap. But in a forgotten sector beyond Imperial maps, a light blinked inside a damaged escape pod. Inside, Baba Yaga opened his eyes. Pain wrapped around his ribs. Blood stained his coat. His blade was gone. His ship was gone. But he was still alive. He sat up slowly and stared out the small glass window. No stars, only gray dust. A dead world. He smiled. I've been worse. Meanwhile, in the Empire's capital, emergency meetings shook the high command. Captain Vila, no longer hunted but still watched, stood before the same men who once called Baba Yaga a myth. He saved Helion 3, she said. He gave us time, the Admiral frowned. And what do we do with that time, Captain? Vila dropped a data chip on the table. Build. The screen lit up with images shields powered by old Earth tech, new ships fitted with anti-darkness emitters, updated star maps showing the creature's likely return. Baba Yaga left us tools. All we have to do is use them. The Admiral narrowed his eyes. We don't take orders from ghosts. Vila stepped closer. He's not a ghost, he's a war. On the dead world, Baba Yaga limped through the ruins of an old alien city. Cracked stone, rusted towers, and writing in a language long lost. He was not alone. Something watched him. From the shadows, thin, tall shapes followed. Not machines, not people, survivors. He raised his hand. I'm not here to fight. A voice echoed from the ruins. Everyone comes to this place to die. Why are you different? He sat on a broken pillar. Because I've already died once. And I came back angry. The figures stepped closer. One of them wore armor made from bones. She had 6 eyes and carried a spear of light. You're the one they call Baba Yaga, he nodded. And you? Forgotten, she said. Like everything here. I need your help, he said. The galaxy needs it. She laughed bitterly. The galaxy forgot us. Let it burn. Baba Yaga stood, blood still dripping from his arm. Then burn with it, or fight with me. Over the next 2 weeks, he trained them. The forgotten ones. Silent warriors. Broken soldiers. Lost tribes. He taught them how to build new weapons using old tech. He showed them how to fight shadows, how to hide in plain sight, and how to strike where fear lives. And he told them the truth. The darkness isn't gone. It's gathering. One night, while they sat by a blue fire, the bone-armored warrior asked, Why do you keep fighting, Baba Yaga? He stared at the flame. Because once, I couldn't save my family. Now I fight so others don't lose theirs. The Empire didn't listen fast enough. 2 more systems vanished. No signals. Number. Light. Just black silence. Ships sent to investigate didn't return. Then one did. Cracked, smoking, with only one survivor. A child. She whispered 2 words before passing out. They're back. Vela stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, the Empire's newest warship. Behind her were 20 ships, armed with Baba Yaga's designs. She had sent a dozen search drones. Into the outer rim, no signal. No sign. Until now. A ping, then a transmission, a voice. Him, I'm alive. She smiled for the first time in weeks. Where are you? Bringing an army. The Empire's fleet gathered near the edge of the Gray Veil Nebula, where the darkness had last been seen. Vila stared at the scanner. Still nothing? No, ma'am, her officer said. Too quiet. Then the stars flickered, first 1, then 3, then 10. All hands battle stations. She ordered. The black cloud appeared larger than before. Its body filled half the screen. Red veins pulsed across it. It had changed. Learned. The first wave of drones vanished. The second wave screamed. And then Baba Yaga arrived. His ship was old, cracked, patched with strange bone metal, and surrounded by a dozen others flying in sharp patterns like birds of prey. The Forgotten had returned. Vela opened a channel. You brought friends, he answered. Simply, I don't fight alone anymore. The battle began. The Empire's weapons were stronger now, powered by Earth's old designs. Blasts of light tore through parts of the shadow. The forgotten warriors dove into the cloud, planting bombs and firing strange weapons that cut through darkness. But the creature fought back, its limbs stretched across space, tearing ships apart. Minds were twisted. Some pilots began screaming inside their helmets. Others vanished without a trace. Then the core appeared, a massive red eye, beating like a heart. Watching them all, Vila shouted, "Target the core!" The fleet focused fire, but the eye blinked and the weapon stopped working. Baba Yaga flew forward alone. He spoke to the fleet. "Hold the line, I'll take the shot." "You won't survive," Vila said. "I never do." He dove into the center, passed through the shadow. Dodging claws and fangs made a void. He reached the eye. He opened the last weapon. Earth had left him a seed of collapsing light. He smiled. For Earth, for the stars. And he dropped it. The explosion lit the sky, not red dot, not black. White dot, pure and bright. The shadow screamed and folded in on itself, twisting, shrinking. And then it was gone. Only silence. The vanguard searched for Baba Yaga's ship. Nothing. Just drifting ash, but Vila refused to leave. Hours passed. Finally, a signal blinked. One pod. One man. He was badly burned. His armor torn, but alive. They carried him to the med bay. As Vila watched over him, he opened his eyes. "Told you I never die easy," he whispered. She laughed. "Welcome back." And though he didn't smile, his eyes did. Outside the window, stars shone brighter than before, for now the darkness was gone. But Baba Yaga's war would never truly end. The stars were finally calm. No battles. No screams through the combs. Just silence. The galaxy was at peace, but it felt strange. Too quiet, too still. After the war against the darkness, everything seemed slower, like time itself was catching its breath. Captain Vila stood at the window of the Imperial Space Council's Grand Hall. Below her, hundreds of ships floated peacefully over the capital world of Arkan. People walked freely in the streets again. Children played, traders smiled. No one looked up, afraid, but inside her, the weight still sat heavy. Behind her, a voice spoke. "You don't look happy." She didn't turn around. "It doesn't feel real." Baba Yaga stepped beside her. He moved slower now, his coat torn, his shoulders still wrapped in bandages. The price of survival. The price of winning. He stared out the window. Peace never feels real, not after war. They stood quietly for a moment. Then Vila turned to him. "Do you think it's really over?" "No," he said. "I think the darkness just learned how to hide." In the center of the city, a grand ceremony was being prepared. The Empire wanted to honor Baba Yaga and Vila. Statues were already being carved. Speeches written. The new emperor, a younger man who had risen during the chaos, wanted a symbol of unity. But not everyone agreed. In the shadows of the Senate halls, old voices whispered, "He's dangerous. He broke our laws, destroyed fleets, worked with outlaws. He's not even fully human anymore. He should not be celebrated. He should be watched." That night, Vila found Baba Yaga sitting on the rooftop of the military hospital. He was looking at the stars again. "They're planning something," she said quietly. "I know," he replied. "You're not surprised?" He gave a tired smile. "Peace makes people nervous. When there's no war to fight, they remember who they feared before. Will you run?" "No, let them come. But if they want a fight, I'll give them one they won't forget." She sat next to him. "They're afraid of what you represent." "I represent truth," he said. "And truth always makes empires uncomfortable." 3 days later, during the ceremony, the sky over Arkan exploded with color. Drones danced. Ships flew in formation. Music played. Vila wore her new uniform, silver and black. She stood on the high stage with the emperor and other council members. Baba Yaga was not there. He had refused to attend. "He's disrespecting the empire," one official hissed. "No," Vila said calmly. "He's protecting it in his own way." But as the ceremony continued, alarms rang through the city. The crowd gasped. A hologram appeared in the sky broadcast from an unknown source. It was Baba Yaga. "This peace," he said, "was paid with blood. Not by the empire, but by those forgotten. By rebels, outlaws, lost species, and broken warriors. The empire hides now behind statues and medals. But the real price of peace is honesty." The screen changed, images of secret camps, hidden weapons, silent prisons deep under Arkan. Evidence the empire was already preparing for another war against Earthborns, against the forgotten, against anyone they could not fully control. The emperor's face turned white. "Cut the feed," he screamed, but it was too late. The truth had already spread. Guards were sent to find Baba Yaga. They didn't. Instead, they found a blade, his old blade, stuck into the middle of the empire's war room table. Beside it was a note, written in his sharp handwriting. "You want peace? Then protect it. Don't plan the next war." Vila was brought before the council the next morning. "You knew." The emperor accused. "I did," she said. "You supported him." "I still do." "You're a traitor." "No," she said firmly. "I'm loyal to the people. To peace, not to fear." They stripped her of her title. She didn't resist. As she walked out of the council chamber, a crowd of young officers waited outside. Most had once fought in the war. Many had followed Baba Yaga. They saluted her as she passed. Somewhere beyond the outer systems, a small ship drifted silently. Inside, Baba Yaga sipped bitter tea and watched the latest news. Riots, debates, truth breaking through old lies. He smiled. Voice behind him spoke. "You know they'll come for you." He turned. It was the bone-armored warrior from the forgotten world. She now wore a cloak of dark stars and walked like a queen. "Let them," he said. "I left the door open." She sat beside him. "Do you regret showing them?" He thought for a moment. "No. Peace without truth is just a lie waiting to break." She looked at him. "So what now?" He leaned back. "We wait. We watch. And when the next lie grows too big, we cut it down." Back on Arkan, Vila stood in front of a small group of students. She had no title now, no power, but she had their attention. She drew a line on the screen. "Peace," she said, "isn't something you're given. It's something you fight to keep. Not with weapons, but with courage, with honesty, with each other." One student raised a hand. "Will Baba Yaga return?" Vila smiled. "Only if we fail to protect what he gave us." The class grew silent. The stars outside blinked peacefully. But deep in the heart of space, something stirred. And far away, a man with glowing eyes and a long coat watched, ready to rise again if the price of peace was forgotten. Baba Yaga sat alone on the edge of a small forgotten moon. The stars above were cold, distant. The galaxy had changed, but his story was not over. A faint breeze stirred the dust, carrying memories of battles fought and friends lost. A soft beep came from his wrist device, a message, simple, "We need you." He smiled quietly. Legends never die. They wait, they watch, and when the time comes, they rise again. Across the galaxy, Captain Vila stood before a crowd of new recruits. "You think the war is over," she said, "but darkness always finds a way. Heroes are not born in peace, they are made in fire." Suddenly, the sky cracked with light. Sensors blinked. Something moved beyond the edge of known space. Vela's voice was steady, but her eyes were sharp. "Get ready, the shadow returns." On the moon, Baba Yaga rose slowly. He touched the ground. feeling the power of the stars deep beneath his feet. The blade at his side gleamed faintly. "They called me a myth," he whispered. "But myths never die. They become legends, and legends live forever." The stars watched silently as Baba Yaga's ship powered up, ready to face the darkness once more. In the quiet before the storm, one thing was certain: the galaxy would never forget. The man who stood between light and shadow. The legend had only just begun.